This is a top ramen noodle that we can find it literally anywhere. It's cheap and it was made for one thing, and that is to get your belly full. If you've never had this, let me open up the package and show you what it looks like. We have the noodles and also the seasoning package. To cook it, it's pretty straightforward. You just gotta put it in the boiling water and cook it until your preferred doneness. Once the noodle is exactly the way you like it, you just gotta open in the seasoning package and throw it in. Mix everything together, put it in a bowl, and you are ready to fill that belly. I've eaten so many of these that I lost count, especially when I was in college. So I have the perfect person to test this out and let us know what he thinks.
You always gotta smell it just in case, you never know. I think I've had this one before. It's what I'm used to, and it's really hot. Definitely no nutritional value, and it fills you up, and that's what you need. That's what you get.
Now that we are familiar with the instant ramen, it is time to take it to the next level. And Sous is definitely going to help me make that happen. And for our very first one, I'm going to be using pork. And it's going to be a huge upgrade from that instant ramen. At the same time, it is easy to make, and here's how. We start off with 2 pieces of pork belly that are completely skinless. Always look for one that has a lot of meat, because if there's one thing pork belly has, is enough fat. I kept the seasoning quite simple with salt, freshly ground black pepper, and 5 spice. I want to give an Asian flavor to this pork belly, and that's why the 5 spice is perfect for this application. Make sure you season all sides, including the edges. Now that it's completely seasoned, all there's left to do is to put it in a vacuum bag, seal it up, and it's ready for sous vide. Talking about that, I'll be cooking this beautiful pork belly at 160 degrees Fahrenheit for a total of 8 hours. Once the time was up, I opened up the bag and strained the juices. Never throw away the juices from the bag. Now if you're thinking this is not instant ramen because it took 8 hours to cook this, let me remind you that all of this can be done ahead of time, and only when you're ready to eat it, you go on to the next step. As you can see, my pork belly is perfectly cooked, so I went ahead and sliced everything about 1/2 inch thick. Avoid cutting too thin, if not the fat will just render and you won't have anything left. And that's because we're going to be searing it with our culinary torch. For this application, the torch is perfect because it's fast, convenient, and most importantly, it will not render all the fat. If you do try to pan sear this, what will happen is the fat will render tremendously and you won't have much left. So even though the torch is not my favorite, for this one it is. And the reason I know is because when I get results like this, that will go nicely with our instant ramen. Now let's talk about broth, because we definitely gotta upgrade from that seasoning package. Remember, exact amount and ingredients always in the description down below for you. I started by throwing low sodium soy sauce, followed by all the juices from the bag. Then about 1/2 tablespoon of miso paste. Throw in some boiling water and also the seasoning package of 1 ramen. Now all there's left to do is to mix it well, make sure that your miso paste is completely dissolved and your ramen broth is ready. This is a huge upgrade from just the seasoning package. And to assemble, of course, I started with the instant ramen cooked noodles, followed by all my beautiful sous vide pork belly, a fried egg, a little bit of green scallions to go on top, very thin sliced hot chili peppers, and to finish it up, I filled it up with our broth. And that, my friends, is how you make an instant chicken ramen become something incredible. But now that it is ready, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to give it a try.
So what do you think? That one looks better?
It just looks a little bit better, you know?
A little bit of upgrade, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let's give this a try. I have a feeling it's going to be a little better. Break up the egg. Ooh, nice gooey egg, everybody. Mix everything together, Angel. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Even though it's instant ramen, you can't really tell. What do you think?
I could have thought I would have. This is like what you would get if you go to a ramen place.
Let's try the pork belly, my friend. Let's see. This one is a lot more nutritious. You said the other one wasn't nutrition. This one is good? How is that?
Ooh. Ooh, that's good, boy.
Wow. That is phenomenal, everybody.
That's really good.
That is amazing. Ah, that one is a success, everybody. If you have these ingredients available, it's easy to put it together. And let me tell you something. It is a huge upgrade. You agree? Huge upgrade.
I got my face down for the majority of this one, huh?
For the next one, let's say you did not have any pork belly available, but you do have steak. And this next instant ramen can be done with any steak. I'll tell you one thing, this one is easier to make, but you are not compromising any flavor. And here's how to do it. We start off with our steak. I recommend using a steak that has a lot of flavor, and skirt steak is not only affordable, it does provide that flavor for you. A ribeye or a New York strip would also be a good choice. Definitely stay away from filet mignon for this recipe. To season it, you can either marinate it or keep it simple like I did with salt, freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. We're trying to make this recipe as simple as possible, and this seasoning is perfect for it. All there's left to do is to bag it up, vacuum seal it, and it's ready for sous vide. Talking about that, I'll be cooking at 135 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. That will give me a perfect medium rare doneness in the middle. Now, as you know, we are all in quarantine, and one fun thing to do is to grow your own food, and if you've never done it, trust me guys, give it a go. It does not only taste better, but it will encourage you to eat a lot more vegetables. And don't forget, if you're not into vegetables, just grow your own herbs. They will definitely elevate your cooking and make your steaks taste way better. But now that our steak is cooking, it's time to make a broth. And this broth is one of the best ones I've ever made. And I know it's about to get really weird, but you gotta trust me on this one. Here we have a full tablespoon of peanut butter. Put it on your saucepan and throw in a good amount of sriracha. And this is demi-glaze. It is one of the most delicious reduction sauce that you can ever have. You can definitely make this at home, but it is a marathon to make. Your other option is to buy them online and have them ready anytime you want to. As you can see, it's a nice thick sauce, and it is extremely flavorful. The next thing I added was the seasoning package, followed by a good amount of sesame oil. Throw in hot water and make sure you dissolve that peanut butter like there's no tomorrow. It will take some time, but you just gotta be patient. Bring everything to a boil and let it reduce until you have enough broth for 2 bowls. And as always, exact amount and ingredients always in the description down below for you. As my broth was reducing, my steak was fully cooked. And as always, you want to strain those beautiful juices so that you can throw it in. This is 100% flavor because it was not diluted with anything else. Throw in the juices, mix it well, and your ramen broth is ready. As expected, this steak does not look that good right now. That's because it just came out of the sous vide bag, and that is exactly what it always looks like. But we can fix that real thick by using our flamethrower. This will ensure that I keep perfect medium rare in the middle, but at the same time have a wonderful crust. Because as you can see, the flamethrower always does its job. And if you want perfect crust and medium rare in the middle, nothing comes close. But now that we have everything ready, it's time for the assembly. And I started with the cooked noodles, followed by our beautiful sous vide skirt steak, that beautiful jalapeno that I grew in my garden, a little bit of spicy sriracha. For some crunch, I added cashew nuts. Of course, one of my favorite ingredients, green scallions. And to finish it off, our rich and delicious broth. That is next level instant ramen. I'll tell you one thing, I know it sounds funny putting peanut butter on it, but you have to trust me on this one. Because as you're gonna see right now, the only thing left to do is to give this one a try.
Now this one smells a little bit different.
It does smell different, doesn't it?
It kind of smells like if it was like a Vietnamese ramen or something.
That's right. A little bit of Vietnamese style because it has a little bit of peanut butter.
Yeah, that's what the whole peanut thing had me going for the Vietnamese card.
Do not judge me because peanut butter actually goes well with a lot of Asian dishes, especially Vietnamese. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Oh.
What? What? Huh?
It's a little bit spicy too.
Yeah, little sriracha.
Oh.
That is phenomenal. Like all the way, everybody. It is incredible.
I'm pretty damn picky about things.
Yes, you are. We all know about that.
I'm pretty particular about my ramen.
How do you like it? It's a big upgrade from the last one, huh?
And wow, this is...
Now, here's the deal. Let's mix everything together. Mix all of those goodness. Oh my God. Check out that color of this broth, everybody. Now let's grab...
The broth is intense, man.
The broth is amazing. Let's grab a big pinch of noodles, Angel.
Put it all together.
Ooh. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Spicy. The peanut butter flavor comes through, but it's not like gonna kill you or anything like that and overpower the dish.
You know what? I think the broth turned the noodles more silky.
Well, there's something there in this sauce also called demi-glaze, which is very, very powerful and strong and wonderful. If you've never tried demi-glaze, everybody, you gotta give it a go. And getting in those little packages will save you long, long hours of actually trying to make the broth itself, you know? You ready for the steak? Look at that steak, Angel. Perfectly medium rare. Cheers, Angel.
Cheers. I'm an average guy, you know?
I'm an average guy too.
Look, my go-to, I'll even tell you my go-to. I usually get yakisoba.
Yakisoba is good, yeah.
I get the chicken teriyaki, and that's like my favorite ramen.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, this is the best ramen I've ate.
Well, you've been to a bunch of ramen shops.
Yeah.
Really? It is really good. I agree with him.
This broth is so unique.
Yeah.
And it's a spicy broth. And I haven't had a spicy broth that isn't too spicy for me
Right.
until this one. And I can actually go a little more.
Yeah, you can go put a little bit more sriracha on it.
But damn, bro, like
The secret there is the demi-glaze mixed with the juices from the bag and the sriracha and the peanut butter. There's a lot of flavors going on in there. You
but
know?
it's so good.
We're ready for the next one. You ready?
No.
No?
Not
You gonna
ready
finish
till
it
I
up?
finish, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna finish this one up first, everybody.
Now let's say you do not have any pork belly or steak, you have chicken. Well, let me tell you something, I got your back. We're gonna be making a simple but also delicious chicken ramen. And for that, I'll be using chicken thighs. I do believe chicken thighs has a lot more flavor than chicken breast. But if you do have breast, go ahead and use them. It will work just fine. And as always, the first thing we gotta do is to season them. And I started with salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. You could add any other seasoning you like, but keep in mind whatever you add, it will also go into your broth. So for this one, I try to keep it as simple as possible. Now you want to throw it in the bag and get it ready for sous vide. If you are cooking chicken thighs, you want to cook them at 167 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. However, if you're doing breast, cook them for 1 hour at 149. Once the time was up, you can see that they are clearly cooked, and of course we gotta save the juices from the bag, because as you already know, this is 100% concentrated flavor. The next thing we gotta do is to strain it. This will take away all of the impurities. As you can see, we're left with beautiful juices from the bag. Just like the pork belly and also the steak, these chicken thighs do not look that good right now. We definitely need to sear them up. And for today, I'm gonna be doing that with a non-stick pan with a little bit of oil. The great thing about it is that they are fully cooked, so you just gotta put the color you want. Because as you can see, by the time I was done, I was left with perfectly cooked chicken thighs. To make them easy to eat with our ramen, I decided to slice them in some thick cuts. But if you prefer to shred them, by all means do. And of course, this is not going to be an amazing ramen with an upgraded broth. And every time I cook sous vide, I save the juices from the bag. As you can see, this one was saved from my previous cook. And it has been frozen for quite some time. So always save the juices. For the broth, in a saucepan, I started with a little bit of sriracha, followed by low sodium soy sauce, the juices from this cook, and the juices from a previous cook. Now you gotta remember, you don't need to season this with salt, because when the chicken was cooking, it had plenty of salt already. Now there's left to do is to reduce it until you are happy with the taste and your broth is ready. To assemble this one, I started with the cooked noodles, of course followed by our beautiful sous vide chicken thighs, 2 boiled eggs, a little bit of sweet corn which I sauteed with some butter, green scallions, sliced thin chili peppers, and to finish it off the topping, I threw in some black sesame seeds. Now there's left to do is to add that beautiful broth we just made, and our chicken ramen is done. This one is as easy as it gets. But of course, the most important thing is always the taste. So let's see how good this one is.
Tell me if it's better broth than you've tried before.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It has a little
I rest my case. What do you think?
better than the original.
Very much better than the original.
Better than the packaging.
That's all you have to say about that?
It's chicken.
I like your honesty. You're not a fan of chicken. That's it.
It has a little tang to it. Like it has like that little spice.
Little
in
spice?
the back. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Right?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
What
I think it's mild.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
It's mild. You know, it's not strong because you're basically having all the juices from the bag there, Angel. It's all the juices of concentrated flavor of chicken. What happened? You got something spicy?
It does get spicy.
There's some sriracha in there as well. So the broth is really nice. Look at that. You gotta mix it all together. Chicken time. Ready? Cheers, buddy.
Let's go for it.
It's very light. Unlike the other two. The other two that we made was kind of more powerful. You know what I mean?
The broth is kind of like more clear than the other one.
Yeah.
But it still has its own unique like flavor to it.
Right.
Like this could be someone's favorite.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's like very mild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you ever been to a ramen shop, they have some that are very strong ramen. The broth is powerful.
Yeah.
This one is very light and very like gentle on your palate. That's how I'll describe this one.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
it's not too rich.
Exactly the word I was looking for. Exactly.
Yeah.
Out of all of the ones that we tried today, which one is your favorite?
That peanut butter one.
The peanut butter one, the steak one, by a mile. I agree.
Yeah,
that
one
one
was so good.
was the best one, everybody. Give that one a try. I know it sounds weird with the peanut butter.
Good, man. That was my favorite. And I don't know how else to say it.
Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in any of the equipment I use, everything is always on the description down below for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys got the idea of mixing the juices together with any meat that you make. It will make a much better instant ramen. Agree?
Agree.
I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.